Picture this. You're hiking through California's stunning wilderness when suddenly you come face to face with the animal most likely to kill you in the Golden State. But it's not what you think. Stay tuned, because by the end of this countdown, you'll discover that California's deadliest creatures aren't the ones making headlines. We're ranking the 10 most dangerous animals based on actual fatality statistics, not sensational stories. Let's dive into California's deadly countdown. Number 10. Black widow spiders. These glossy arachnids with their signature red hourglass marking pack a venomous punch that can turn a simple garden encounter into a medical emergency. California hosts two species of black widows, the western black widow and the brown widow, both carrying neurotoxic venom that attacks the nervous system. When a black widow bites, victims experience excruciating muscle cramps that can last for hours, severe abdominal pain that mimics appendicitis, and in rare cases, respiratory failure. The venom contains latrotoxin, a powerful neurotoxin that causes muscles to contract violently. Children, elderly individuals, and people with compromised immune systems face the highest risk of fatal complications. Most bites occur when people reach into dark spaces like garages, sheds, or wood piles, where these spiders prefer to build their webs. While antivenom exists and most bite victims survive with proper medical treatment, black widows still contribute to California's annual spider-related fatality statistics. The psychological trauma of surviving a black widow bite often proves as devastating as the physical symptoms, with some victims developing lasting arachnophobia. Number 9. Rattlesnakes. California hosts more rattlesnake species than any other state, including the massive western diamondback, the aggressive Pacific rattlesnake, and the lightning-fast sidewinder. These serpents represent millions of years of evolutionary perfection in the art of killing. Their venom contains a complex cocktail of enzymes and toxins designed to break down tissue at the cellular level, while disrupting blood-clotting mechanisms. A rattlesnake bite delivers hemotoxic venom that causes massive swelling, internal bleeding, and tissue death around the bite site. Without immediate medical intervention, victims experience cascading organ failure as the venom spreads through their bloodstream. California's dry climate and extensive hiking culture create frequent human-snake encounters, particularly during spring and fall, when snakes are most active. Most bites occur when hikers accidentally step on or near a camouflage snake, or when people attempt to kill or relocate the animal. The tragic irony is that rattlesnakes are generally defensive creatures that prefer to retreat rather than fight, but their potent venom makes every defensive strike potentially lethal. If you're enjoying this countdown of California's deadliest animals, smash that like button and subscribe for more shocking wildlife content that could literally save your life. Number 8. Great white sharks. California's coastal waters serve as prime hunting grounds for these apex predators, particularly around the Farallon Islands and Monterey Bay. Great whites can reach lengths of 20 feet and possess bite forces exceeding 4,000 pounds per square inch. When these prehistoric killing machines attack, the results are catastrophic. Their serrated teeth slice through human flesh like razors, while their powerful jaws can sever limbs with a single chomp. California experiences more great white shark encounters than any other state, with surfers and divers facing the highest risk. The infamous Triangle of Death between San Francisco, Monterey, and the Channel Islands sees the majority of attacks. Victims often describe the experience as being hit by a freight train, with massive blood loss occurring within seconds of impact. However, most great white encounters result in what marine biologists call investigative bites, rather than predatory attacks. The sharks often mistake surfers for seals when viewed from below, leading to a quick bite and release when they realize their error. Despite their fearsome reputation and prominent place in California folklore, great whites cause relatively few fatalities annually, averaging less than 1 death per year statewide. Number 7. Mountain lions. Also known as cougars or pumas, these magnificent cats represent California's most efficient land predator. Adult mountain lions can weigh up to 160 pounds and possess the stealth and power to take down prey much larger than themselves. California's extensive wilderness areas and growing suburban development create increasing overlap between human activity and mountain lion territory. These cats are ambush predators that attack with devastating precision, typically targeting the neck and head with their powerful jaws. A mountain lion attack unfolds like a nightmare scenario. Silent stalking through dense brush, muscles coiled for explosive action, then a lightning-fast sprint culminating in a leap that can cover 40 feet. Their preferred hunting strategy involves dragging victims away from trails into dense cover where rescue becomes nearly impossible. Children and solo hikers face elevated risk because their size and movement patterns trigger the cat's hunting instincts. What makes mountain lion attacks particularly terrifying is their unpredictability. Unlike bears, which often give warning signs, mountain lions strike from concealment with no advance notice. Victims frequently report never seeing their attacker until impact. California averages several mountain lion attacks annually, with fatalities occurring primarily in foothill and mountain communities where development encroaches on traditional cat habitat. Number 6. Africanized honeybees. Known as killer bees, these aggressive insects arrived in California through natural migration from South America and have established permanent colonies throughout the southern regions of the state. Africanized bees look identical to regular honeybees, but exhibit dramatically different defensive behavior when their colonies are threatened. While a single bee sting poses little threat to most people, killer bees attack in massive swarms that can deliver hundreds or thousands of stings to a single victim. The sheer volume of venom overwhelms the body's ability to process toxins, leading to systemic failure even in non-allergic individuals. California has recorded multiple fatalities from killer bee swarms, often involving people who accidentally disturbed ground nests while gardening or landscaping. These bees will pursue perceived threats for miles, making escape extremely difficult once an attack begins. Victims describe the experience as being engulfed by a cloud of pain, with stings covering every exposed surface of their body. Emergency responders sometimes arrive to find victims with hundreds of embedded stingers requiring hours of medical extraction. The bees' aggressive territorial behavior means that routine outdoor activities in affected areas carry genuine life-threatening risks during peak activity periods. Number 5. Wild boars. These invasive mammals have established breeding populations throughout California's rural areas, creating dangerous encounters for hikers, hunters, and rural residents. Adult boars can weigh up to 400 pounds and possess razor-sharp tusks capable of inflicting devastating wounds. Wild boars are extremely territorial and aggressive, particularly sows protecting piglets or boars during mating season. When threatened, these animals charge at speeds exceeding 30 miles per hour, using their tusks to slash and gore anything in their path. California's wild boar population continues expanding as these intelligent animals adapt to diverse habitats from oak woodlands to chaparral zones. Most attacks occur when people accidentally encounter boars while hiking, or when hunters wound but fail to kill the animals. A charging boar represents a freight train of muscle and fury that can bowl over grown adults and inflict fatal injuries through massive blood loss from tusk wounds. Their thick hide and dense muscle mass make them extremely difficult to stop once they initiate an attack. Rural communities report increasing property damage and safety concerns as boar populations expand into developed areas seeking food sources. Number 4. Bears. California hosts the largest black bear population in the lower 48 states, with an estimated 25 to 30,000 bears roaming the state's forests and mountains. While generally avoiding human contact, these powerful omnivores become extremely dangerous when protecting cubs, defending food sources, or habituated to human presence around campsites. Adult black bears can weigh up to 600 pounds and possess the strength to tear apart cars in search of food. Fatal bear encounters typically involve mothers defending cubs or bears that have lost their natural fear of humans through repeated exposure to campers and hikers. When bears attack, they employ systematic mauling behavior designed to neutralize threats completely. Victims suffer multiple bone fractures, massive tissue damage, and often fatal blood loss. California's extensive wilderness recreation industry creates thousands of bear-human interactions annually, with most incidents occurring in popular camping areas like Yosemite and the Sierra Nevada. Tragic cases often involve people attempting to photograph bears or families who fail to properly secure food and garbage around campsites. These habituated bears associate humans with easy meals, leading to increasingly aggressive behavior when people don't provide expected food rewards. Number 3. Domestic dogs. Man's best friend occupies a shocking position among California's deadliest animals. The state records dozens of fatal dog attacks annually, with numbers climbing higher in recent years. These aren't random attacks by feral packs, but incidents involving family pets, neighborhood dogs, or animals known to victims. Fatal attacks often involve powerful breeds or multiple dogs acting together, with victims typically being children, elderly individuals, or people unable to defend themselves effectively. The attacks are sustained and vicious, with dogs continuing to bite and shake victims long after they've been incapacitated. What makes these incidents particularly heartbreaking is the betrayal of trust involved. Many victims are attacked by animals they considered friendly or protective. California's dense population and high rates of dog ownership create millions of daily interactions between humans and dogs, inevitably leading to statistical probabilities of fatal encounters. Post-pandemic behavioral changes in dogs, possibly related to altered socialization patterns and increased household stress, have contributed to rising attack rates across multiple age groups. The psychological trauma extends beyond physical injuries to survivors and families who must reconcile their love for dogs with the reality of their lethal potential. Hit that like button if this countdown is opening your eyes to California's hidden dangers, and don't forget to subscribe for more life-saving content. Number 2. Large livestock. Cows, horses, bulls, and other farm animals cause more human deaths in California than sharks, snakes, and wild predators combined. These aren't vicious attacks by wild animals, but accidents involving domestic creatures that most people perceive as gentle and harmless. California's massive agricultural industry employs thousands of workers who face daily exposure to animals weighing hundreds or thousands of pounds. A single kick from a startled horse can shatter ribs, puncture vital organs, or cause fatal head trauma. Bulls and aggressive cows have gored and trampled workers who entered pastures at the wrong time, or approached animals protecting calves. The sheer mass differential means that even accidental contact can result in crushing injuries. Most livestock fatalities involve workers being pinned against fences, walls, or machinery by panicked animals. These creatures don't attack with predatory intent, but simply react with force that human bodies cannot withstand. Farm equipment accidents often involve animals that spook suddenly, causing operators to lose control of heavy machinery. Rural communities throughout California's Central Valley and agricultural regions report multiple livestock-related fatalities annually, making these familiar animals statistically more dangerous than any exotic predator stalking the wilderness. Number 1. The deadliest animal in California will shock you. It's deer. White-tailed deer, mule deer, and other species that graze peacefully in suburban neighborhoods and mountain meadows. These gentle herbivores with their graceful movements and innocent appearance cause more human deaths than any other animal in the Golden State. The killing mechanism isn't direct attack, but vehicle collisions that transform routine drives into deadly encounters. California records hundreds of deer vehicle crashes annually, resulting in dozens of fatalities and thousands of serious injuries. The typical fatal collision unfolds with terrifying suddenness. A car traveling 60 miles per hour on a mountain highway encounters a deer that bolts across the roadway, giving drivers less than 1 second to react. The impact often sends the deer's body through windshields, causing massive trauma to vehicle occupants. Even non-fatal collisions frequently result in serious injuries as drivers swerve violently to avoid deer, losing control and crashing into trees, guardrails, or oncoming traffic. What makes deer particularly dangerous is their unpredictable behavior around vehicles. Unlike most animals that flee from approaching cars, deer often freeze in headlights, run parallel to roads before suddenly cutting across, or travel in groups where avoiding one deer puts drivers directly in the path of others following behind. Peak danger periods coincide with deer mating season and migration patterns, typically fall and early winter months when reduced daylight increases the likelihood of encounters during commuting hours. California's diverse geography creates perfect conditions for deer vehicle collisions. Mountain highways wind through prime deer habitat while suburban expansion fragments traditional migration routes, forcing animals to cross roads more frequently. The state's extensive freeway system carries millions of vehicles daily through areas where deer populations are concentrated, creating thousands of potential collision scenarios. Highway 101 through Marin County, Interstate 80 through the Sierra Nevada, and countless rural roads throughout Northern California see regular deer-related crashes. Transportation agencies have installed wildlife crossings, reflective warning signs, and reduced speed limits in known deer corridors. Recognition that this threat represents a statistically significant public safety concern. The deer situation perfectly illustrates how human expansion into natural habitats creates unexpected deadly interactions. Suburban development fragments deer habitat while providing abundant food sources in landscaped yards that concentrate deer populations near human activity. This collision between infrastructure and wildlife behavior generates thousands of dangerous encounters annually throughout California. Here's the uncomfortable truth emerging from our countdown. The animals dominating our fears and nightmares generate headlines precisely because they kill so rarely that each incident becomes statewide news. Shark attacks receive massive media coverage because they're extraordinary events. The real danger comes from ordinary animals sharing our neighborhoods, farms, and highways. Recent studies analyzing California mortality data found that vehicle-related animal collisions, large domestic animals, and dog attacks account for over 80% of all animal-related deaths in the state. Meanwhile, stereotypical predators like sharks, mountain lions, and venomous snakes contribute less than 20% of fatalities. This statistical reality reveals something profound about human risk assessment. We fear dramatic rare threats while ignoring common dangers that pose much greater statistical risks to our safety. Shark attacks trigger primal terror because they tap into ancestral fears of being devoured by massive predators. Yet Californians are more likely to be killed by the family dog than by every shark species combined. The practical implications are significant for California residents. Instead of worrying about shark encounters during beach visits, consider the real risks in daily environments. That friendly neighborhood dog might need respectful distance and proper introduction before interaction. Large farm animals require constant awareness and safety protocols that casual visitors often ignore. For drivers, especially those in rural areas with high deer populations, statistics suggest investing in defensive driving techniques during dawn and dusk hours when deer are most active. Understanding these risks doesn't require becoming paranoid about every animal encounter. Instead, it means developing appropriate respect for animals around us while maintaining perspective about genuinely rare threats. Simple precautions like properly securing dogs, giving large animals adequate space, and driving defensively in deer country accomplish more for personal safety than anxiety about remote predator encounters. The next time you see a peaceful deer grazing beside a California highway, remember you're looking at the state's statistically deadliest animal. When you pass a friendly neighborhood dog or visit a farm with large livestock, recognize you're encountering creatures more dangerous than any shark patrolling offshore waters. This isn't meant to create fear, but rather informed awareness of where genuine risks exist in modern California life. California's incredible biodiversity creates unique challenges for residents and visitors navigating landscapes where suburban development meets wild habitat. From the desert regions hosting rattlesnakes and killer bees to mountain areas with bears and mountain lions, the Golden State offers countless opportunities for dangerous animal encounters. Yet the statistics consistently show that familiar animals pose greater threats than exotic predators. This countdown reveals that danger often wears a familiar face. Animals sharing our neighborhoods, farms, and daily routes pose greater statistical threats than creatures featured in nature documentaries. Complacency around familiar animals, assuming cows are gentle, dogs are always friendly, or deer are harmless, creates exactly the conditions where fatal encounters occur. Perhaps most importantly, this analysis demonstrates how statistical literacy can literally save lives. Media coverage and cultural narratives often emphasize rare, spectacular threats while overlooking common dangers that affect far more people. Californians who adjust their behavior based on actual risk data, rather than sensational headlines, make better decisions about personal safety. From the redwood forests to the Pacific coastline, California's diverse ecosystems create endless possibilities for both wonder and danger. The key is understanding which animals truly deserve your caution versus those that simply capture headlines. Armed with this knowledge, You can explore California's natural beauty with appropriate respect for genuine hazards, while avoiding unnecessary fear of statistically unlikely threats. If this deep dive into California's real animal dangers has shifted your perspective on what deserves attention and caution, help others discover these surprising truths by smashing that like button and subscribing for more investigations into hidden patterns shaping our world. Drop a comment telling us which animal on this countdown shocked you most and whether you've had close encounters with any of California's real killers lurking in plain sight. Your engagement helps us continue exposing the truth behind statistical myths and media misconceptions that shape how we perceive risk in our daily lives.